I'm Constable Cindy Chung of the Toronto Police Service. I'm one of over 26,000 police officers in the province of Ontario, representing nearly 60 police services. On behalf of all Ontario police officers, welcome to Canada. It's our sincere hope that you will find life here happy and prosperous. The purpose of this short video is to provide you with some insights on how policing works in Ontario, what to do if you require our services, and what to expect if you have an interaction with a police officer. We're here to help, and if you have any questions, just ask.
Ontario is the first province in Canada to have a Declaration of Principles written into its statutes. With these principles, we are committed to ensuring the safety and security of all people and property in Ontario, safeguarding the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms and the Ontario Human Rights Code, working closely with the communities we serve, respecting victims of crime and working to understand their needs, being sensitive to the diverse, multiracial, and multicultural character of Ontario society, and ensuring that police services are representative of the communities they serve. The delivery of adequate and effective policing services in Ontario is governed by the Police Services Act, which stipulates standards and regulations for policing. Most municipal police services are subject to civilian oversight through local police services boards, comprised of both local government and community representatives. The famous Royal Canadian Mounted Police are Canada's national police force. However, it's unlikely you'll see them much in Ontario, as they deal mostly with federal responsibilities and laws. With over 6,000 officers, the Ontario Provincial Police provides policing services to many of Ontario's smaller and rural communities. They are also responsible for patrolling and enforcing the law on Ontario's major highways. Most of the 50 or so larger Ontario communities each have their own police service, but there is frequent collaboration between members of the RCMP, OPP, and municipal police agencies. Police services in Ontario are committed to the mobilization and engagement model of community policing, which sees partnerships between police and their communities as the best way to promote safety, prevent, and respond to crime. There are a number of scenarios that may bring you into contact with police. If you have an urgent or life-threatening emergency, such as a crime in progress or where someone's safety is in jeopardy, simply dial 911 on your home or mobile phone. The 911 operator will ask you a number of questions to help determine what resources you need, police, fire, or ambulance, and in some cases will stay on the line with you until help arrives. But remember, 911 is only for emergencies. In the case of a non-emergency, for example a theft, lost passport, fraud, or car accidents where there are no injuries, call the non-emergency phone number for your local police service. They can be found in the phone book and online. In the event an operator does not understand the language you speak, they will attempt to identify your language and seek the services of a translator if necessary. Your home is a sacred place. If police come to your home, they can only enter if they are invited, there is an emergency situation, a 911 call for instance, or if they have a legal document such as a search warrant which permits them to legally enter. If police come to your door, answer the door and acknowledge them. Remember that their priority is to ensure the safety of people and property. Police officers may not always be aware of or understand the different traditions of your culture. It's very important to communicate your needs and concerns to the officer. For example, let the officer know about your designated prayer areas. And don't be afraid to express your concerns and ask questions if you don't understand something. If you encounter a police officer who is not in uniform, they will in most cases identify themselves. If you have any doubts about who they are, you can ask to see their official identification. Again, don't be afraid to ask questions. Police officers have the authority to stop a vehicle at any time to determine if the driver has a valid license, the car has valid insurance, the car is mechanically fit, and if the driver has consumed alcohol or drugs. However, the most likely reasons a police officer will stop a car is to investigate a traffic offense. Traffic stops can be a very dangerous part of a police officer's job. More officers are injured or killed during routine traffic stops than any other police activity, as officers must assess persons in the vehicle and be aware of the traffic around them. If you are directed to stop by a police officer, slow down, pull as far to the right of the road as possible, and stay inside your vehicle unless directed otherwise. The officer may approach your vehicle on the passenger side in order to distance themselves from the hazards of traffic, but most of the interaction will take place with the driver of the vehicle. The officer will ask to see your driver's license, ownership, and insurance for the vehicle. Keep your hands in view, don't make sudden movements, and let the officer know if you need to retrieve documents from the glove box, your purse, or other areas of the vehicle. Drivers are also accountable for their passengers. Remember that car insurance and the use of seat belts and car seats for children are mandatory in Ontario. If a police officer issues an offense notice, this does not mean you're guilty. The officer will explain the options available to you, and more information may be found on the back of the ticket. In Canada, very strict rules regarding a police officer's ability to arrest or detain a person can be found in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The Charter protects against arbitrary detention. This means no one has to go with the police to a police station unless they have been placed under arrest. Persons placed under arrest have a number of important rights. They have the right to remain silent, the right to privacy, the right to free legal advice in their first language, and the right to an interpreter if needed. Police officers also have certain responsibilities. They must identify themselves and show identification. They must inform the person that they are being arrested and why. They must tell the person about their legal rights and ability to obtain legal advice. They may also touch and search the person they are arresting. And just because someone is charged with an offense doesn't mean they're guilty. That's for the courts to determine. Remember, whether it's in your home or on the street or in a vehicle, police officers are trained to explain to you why they are stopping or detaining you. And if you don't understand, ask. It's important to know that most Canadians are committed to looking out for each other. We all have a shared interest in making sure that our co-workers, friends, neighbors, and even complete strangers are safe and feel secure. Loud arguments or fighting, especially when it involves spouses or children, may result in calls to the police by people who may be concerned that someone's safety is at risk. Be aware that police officers sometimes have limited discretion as to whether or not they lay charges or make arrests. They will act based on the facts in front of them, and regardless of whether or not an involved party wants charges laid or arrests made. Public safety will always come first. In most instances, people who call the police, including newcomers to Canada, do so out of concern for the members of their community and for all of the right reasons.
The goals and priorities of police in Canada may be very different from the country you are from. Remember that we are here to serve and protect all members of our community, regardless of age, ancestry, color, race, citizenship, ethnic origin, place of origin, creed, disability, family status, marital status, sex, gender identity, or sexual orientation. On a related note, Canada also has a very strict set of laws regarding hate crimes, acts designed to intimidate, harm or create fear, not just in a person, but within an entire group of people to which the victim belongs. Victims of hate crime are targeted for who they are, not because of anything they have done. Hate crimes involve intimidation, harassment, physical force, or the threat of physical force against a person, a group, or a property based on color, race, religion, ethnic origin, or sexual orientation. Hate crimes should, in every instance, be reported to police. Without question, our experience shows that working with the people in our communities is the best way to keep our communities safe and secure.